What did I say?
During the meanwhilest.
During the meanwhilest. No, I don't like that at all.
Did you enjoy that? Did you enjoy that little intro? Anybody who grew up in the UK in the 70s will surely remember that lovely series Paint Along with Nancy. Yeah, Nancy Kaminsky. She was the UK's answer to Bob Ross, without the curly hair, you know. And yeah, you could watch that and you'd like paint along with her. Yeah. Of course you would. I no doubt some people did. Anyway, the reason for looking at or putting that intro at the start where intros go is because I figured I'd make a little video today, edit along with Nikki. And I'm going to look at an image I posted on Instagram of a dying tulip or a dead tulip. A lovely subject, isn't it? And I thought I would go through how I shot it and then edited it and put it up on Instagram. Obviously, well, not that bit, that's the easy bit. Yeah, the reason for me doing this and interrupting your Thursdays is that I'm waiting for a very important phone call with some blood test results. And while waiting for those, what better way to pass the time than to look at, dead and decaying things. Anyway, what we will do is shortly, in a minute, we will hop onto my Macintosh computer and have a look at the raw files I shot. But first off, here's an image of the starting image, then, if you like, of the tulip. I'm not thinking this through very clearly. My mind's a bit addled today. You have to excuse me if this all goes horribly awry. I spotted its decaying or dying tulip on some flowers that Lisa bought recently and thought it might make an interesting subject. So to shoot it, I set it up obviously on our dining table with like a black card background. Put my XH2 and Laowa lens on a tripod and then shot, I think, around about 20, it must have been, maybe more, we'll find out in a minute, focus bracketed images, focused from back to front on the decaying tulip itself, but not importantly, not on the background, because I wanted that sort of nice soft, blurry background, the bokeh. So I shot it at f2.8, which I normally wouldn't do when I focus stack. I normally like to give the software something more to bite into, like usually about f5.6, something like that. But in this case, I decided to use f2.8. Natural light, no artificial light at all. It was all window light, and then it was just a case of shooting an image, manually twiddling the focus knob on my Laowa lens, because it's a manual focus lens, shooting another one, and then doing that about 4 or 5 times until I was happy I'd captured everything. Right, so what we'll do now then is we will hop into my Mac. I'll open up the Finder. I'll start a screen recording in a second. Let me just clear some stuff down. Right, let me just start the Shift Command 5 and record. Right then, I've got all the raw files in a folder called Helicon Focus, rather helpfully, on my computer. And there we are, there's 27 raw files. Yes, Dexter, 27 raw files in total. And I've already converted them using Adobe DNG Converter to DNG files. And what I'll do now is I'll open up Helicon Focus, which is here somewhere, and we will stack these images. Well, we won't. The computer will. Right. I've only got 44 days left on my license there. I'll have to renew that shortly then. Right. Let's open images. Open all these. What I'll do now, I'll probably just fast forward through this next bit because it can be a little tedious otherwise. And then we will import the finished file into Lightroom, and we'll have a look at it there. So yeah, let's just fast forward through this next bit. Right, and as if by magic, here we have the finished article. Right, what I'll do now is I'll save this, and I'll call it Dead Tulip. No, Tulip. Tulip's better, isn't it? And we'll keep that in this completed stacks folder. So we save that. Right there. It takes a little bit of time. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Come on. Right, let's get rid of Helicon Focus. Don't need that no more. And we'll open up Lightroom. There we are. And now if we import that image, I see it's scintillating viewing, isn't it? Pictures. Helicon Focus. I got so many folders. So many. Right then, let's import that. And now we'll go into the develop module. Right then, I'm not going to crop it at all because it's a pretty tight composition. So it's a 3x2 and it's going to stay that way. But what I will do is attempt in some way now to lift this subject away from its background. So, but we do some global adjustments first. Let's just add some contrast in. Let's take the blacks down. Let's make these blacks really black. That's nice. Right then. That means we can start playing now with painting in highlights. So let's see if it'll pick a subject up, which will make it a lot easier. Yes, it does. I want to add in this bit here though, innit? The accuracy with which this man works is spellbinding. I have got a Wacom tablet, which I would normally use for this purpose, but I can be bothered. There we are. So we just, as delicately as we can, paint it in. Right, let's just lift the exposure. So a full stop, I think. Yeah, look at that. There we are. That's quite nice, isn't it? That now has separated this subject from the background, but I'm not done yet. So create a new brush, a new mask, and a new brush. This bit here. And what we'll do there, I think we will raise the highlights right up, raise the shadows right up, and what if he... Yeah, there we are. Let's bring up the exposure 2/3 of a stop. There we are. That's lifted that nicely. Yes, actually, we'll add a little bit in. Add a little bit more into that. There we are. Oh, look at that. Look at that now. See? Right there. Let's get another one. Let's lift the shadows there a little. A lot. Okay. Another brush. Let's get in here and do these bits. These are quite nice. Let's see if we can lift. Let's see if we can lift these a little bit. There's a lot of detail in there, so let's see if we cannot bring that out a bit more. Oh, there we are. Look at that. Again. 2/3 of a stop or so. I do like to do things precisely. It makes things easier to remember then if you deal in like, you know, full, you know, round numbers. Right then, what I want to do now is play around down here a little bit. So we create another brush. Just on these edges. Here, raise the exposure a little, Let me going to put a full stop on these. Yeah. And also bring up the highlights to around 50. Right, let's go back to our original mask now then. And where is it? Oh, you have to do that separately. There we go. So we go to that mask there and add in some texture. Make it really, really gritty and grungy by adding in texture and plenty of clarity. There we are. And now we'll do this bit as well. Oh, it's done it already. That's all right. It did do it after all. Right then. That's looking really quite nice. Now let's have a little play now then with colour. So we'll go down to, I won't use the point colour, we'll go down to the colour mixer. Now what I like to do with my greens at the moment, and indulge me a second, is I like to really boost the saturation, the hue, making a more of an emerald green, and then lower the saturation by exactly the same amount. And I find with my greens, this gives me exactly the green that I want. Ooh, I'm looking at this bit here. I think this could do with a little bit more light painted on it. Let's have a little look here. This little, like, seed head, is it? I'm not sure. Not too much. Again, we'll come up 2/3 of a stop. Well, this is all looking quite nice now, isn't it? What do you think? Do you agree? Do you think it looks nice? I think it looks nice, and that's all that counts, really. Right then, let's go back to playing with colour. I might go with the point colour here and get into this magenta, make it a little bit more purple. Should we brighten it a little? Yes, let's brighten it a little. That's quite nice. And we'll increase the saturation, because by brightening it, you're going to lose a little bit of that colour. There we go. That's quite nice, isn't it? That's quite nice. Now I want to raise the yellows, but just in this bit here. So if we create a brush and just brush this area, and then I'm going to increase the saturation there quite a lot to about 60, because I really want this dead, decaying bit of tulip to really, really pop. Let's go back to this brush we did here. That's that one, and let's increase the saturation there of that as well. Again, quite high. I'm going up to 60. This doesn't need to look that realistic. This is an artistic impression, after all, of a dying tulip. Right then, what I'm going to do now is give it like a filmic fade. So I'll come down to the tone curve, and what I like to do is come to input 25 and output 50. That's about my go-to setting, and I think that gives it a really nice filmic fade. Do I put a vignette in? I don't think I need a vignette because it's dark enough, isn't it, up here? But I'm really now quite happy with this finished result. You may tend to disagree, I don't know. But let's have a look at the one I put on Instagram the other day. See how similar I got it. So I'm quite happy with that one. There we are. how do I do I can't do a side by side. I probably could, but I'm not going to. So there's that one, and there is my other effort. So my first one, where have you gone? No, don't go there. There we are. That's it. The first one, and today's. Actually, I think I prefer this one. This is popping a bit more. I'm not going to change it on Instagram now. I had a devil of a job getting this on there. I had to, because Instagram kind of like crops off the top and the bottom really helpfully. So I had to put like a white border around it in Photoshop and then post that. I really shouldn't. I really should stop using Instagram. It's not the greatest. Right. Well, that is my finished image. I think I might print that after. Actually, it's quite nice. I might print that. Not big, but 5x7, something like that. 6x8. Was it so 3x2, so 6x4, 12x8. Perhaps I'll do A4 size. There's all the sizes covered in it. There we are. Right then, that is it. I'll just stop this recording now and go down here and save the screen recording. And there we are. A little brief Thursday interlude. Let me know if you would like to see more of these, processing. Edit along with Nancy. Edit along with Dexter. There we are. Edit along with Dexter videos. Let me know if you'd like to see more of these, and I'll put them out. Right, there we are. Then I'm gonna go and mooch around now for the rest of the day, probably until I get my phone call. Right. See you all on Saturday, where I will be undertaking Simon Booth's camera bag challenge. There we are. It didn't go well. Spoiler alert, it did not go well. But anyway, we'll see you then. And until then, just be nice, all right? Fingers crossed. Ta-ra now.